Hello FlossTube, my name is Tamara and I am very happy to see you on my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you a lot of, according to me, my opinion, a lot of bunnies. And if for those who watch my videos regularly, you probably noticed that I am filming from a different angle. Yes, because I am trying to change the angle of my filming because yes, I'm sick and tired of the old one. I hope it's going to be a nice thing. So why did I say that it's going to be a lot of bunnies in today's video? Because on the 5th of May, our family celebrates Easter, because we are Christians Orthodox. I mean the ones which celebrate Easter old style. And this year, usually the difference in time between the Catholic and Orthodox Easter is not big. Sometimes there are years when they coincide, they are the same Sunday. Sometimes it's, in most cases, it's 1-2 weeks difference. So the Catholic one is the first one. But this year, the gap is really big. So it's 1 month and 1 week, like five weeks, let's say so, because we are celebrating it on the 5th of May. And because we live here in UK and the Easter holiday is already finished, we didn't celebrate Easter, but nevertheless there were like we bought a lot of Easter like Easter chocolate, eggs, bunnies, kind of how they say, the event, not economically, but from the advertising point of view, for us is consumed, you know. And in my mind I just didn't think about stitching something for Easter, because usually I love stitching or at least finishing something from what I have previously stitched for Christmas. Why I'm saying Christmas? For Easter. And this year I kind of forgot, and when there wasn't a lot of time, but I haven't stitched anything for this Easter. What should I do? And of course the first idea which came to my mind was to look for something at Just Nan's designs, because I thought that I'm going to stitch one of them fast and I will like fulfill my needs for stitching something for Easter and I'll be happy. How wrong I was, because I didn't stop at one design, and in this video you'll see how I couldn't stop myself. Okay, let's start with the beginning. It's the better place to start, they say. So I just remember that the Just Nan has a design which is called Peter Cottontail. This is an out-of-print design and not so famous, and I'm not sure if I have seen this one stitched. This one is stitched as a design to be framed in a whimsy frame, if you know those tiny frames. I'm not a fan of whimsy frames. You probably noticed that I haven't bought any of them so far, even if I am a big fan of Just Nan, but I don't know why the whimsy frames are not like making me excited. But nevertheless I liked this design because it's a bunny in how it's called, in clover, a bunny in clover, because this one is clover, and with Easter eggs on the side, you see. And I thought that it's going to be a very good idea to have such a design, and I thought from the very beginning that as long as I'm not like finishing them into whimsies, I'm going to finish it into a tiny pin cushion, a very nice one, very dear one. And I did it, but let me tell you a few things about the materials. So the materials here are pretty simple, I would say, because it's only DMC threads, and it asked for 1 Kreinik. This is 015 number 4, very fine braid, and I had it in my stash. You don't need a lot, so if you don't have it, or you have another shade of green which would be okay with this design, you can use it, because the Kreinik is used only in backstitch. So this one If you don't have it at all, don't use it. If you have another shade of green, which goes okay with any shade of green from this bunny, I think it's going to be okay. And the fabric here, it says that it asks for 30-second count Zweigart, Rainbow Dreams Belfast, or Zweigart Little Boy Blue. I know how Little Boy Blue shade looks like because I have a piece of this beautiful fabric in 28th count, not 32nd, but 28th. But that one is bought for a project, and the count is bigger first of all, and that one is bought for a project. And of course I wouldn't have cut 2 small pieces, I mean like the face and the back, for such a design. That's why I just calmly chose the next color of fabric. I thought it's going to be okay. This is ice, it's Belfast, 30-second count, ice blue linen. And I knew for sure, before even starting stitching, I knew for sure that I want to finish this pin cushion like the previous one, the fancy one, with such a tassel, like a bead tassel, and with such a thing here to hang it on my my tree, you see. But from the very beginning I was like aware that I wouldn't use the tassel here like on an angle, because this one, as long as it's stitched to be put in a frame, it's like this. But I wasn't kind of like discouraged, but I finished it, to see, like this. So I just used it like this. I mean like the finishing. I stitched and finished this one in one day. So started early morning like with the stitching, and in the evening I was ready with the finishing. So during one day I had everything. It wasn't easy, I would tell you, and it was a day where I had time for stitching, because if you don't have time, it doesn't have any sense of like doing it. So what we have here, so it's Peter Cottontail. This one, it's the clover. When I saw this design the first time, I wasn't paying attention to the details. I don't know why, but I was thinking that this is a kind of I don't know how, garment, let's say so. Then when I was stitching it, I just realized that this is the bunny who's like in a bush probably of clover, because this is the greenness, and these ones are the clover flowers, you see. And here on the borders there are Easter eggs. So these are actually Easter eggs, you see, like this, they're repeating themselves. And in the corners there are also flowers of clover. The cranic, the green cranic, by the way, so it's used here in the back stitch. I don't know if you see the sparkling, so it's here a back stitch, and also the back stitch on this frame, yeah, like this you can see. And on this frame also there is back stitch. No beads for these ones. Initially when I started stitching, my plan was to repeat this frame, because I like, you know, that I like repeating the frames, as I did like on this one. I like repeating the frames on the other side, like I thought in the beginning that I'm going to do this frame on this side. But while stitching it, I was so tired already, because this is a small design and it's pretty full, you see, and I was already tired, and I said, no, I'm not going to do it. That's why I just stitched this side, and I said this one I'm going to keep it simple, plain. So it's the same linen, but nothing is stitched on it. So I finished it, as I said, into a pin cushion, just put together the sides with the biscorny stitch. And one thing I knew again for sure about this one, so that I wanted pin cushion, such a small tiny miniature pin cushion, and I knew that I want to finish this one with bead tassel as this one, it's the fancy one, because I love it enormously, this one. It hangs on my tree, the white tree I have, and I like it enormously, and I said that I want at least one more design with such a tassel. That's why in this case I used, for this one I used such beads. So the beads are Mill Hill petite ones from my stash, so I didn't buy anything here. For example, I just choose I think this is 4161, I'm not sure, and this is a green which I used to have. And here on the top and on the bottom I I used the Swarovski beads, Olivini, I think it's called the color, but I think they are AB and they are sparkling. And the Krainik, which is here, it sparkles sometime. So I like this one very much. I made such a thing here as well. And I have already 2 of them, like this. Tiny but beautiful. This one is even tinier than this one by 3 stitches, I think. This one is 30, just a second, I'll tell you. So this one is 31 and this one is 34 or 35, don't remember exactly. But I know for sure this one is tinier than this one. But nevertheless, they are very, very beautiful. So I have already a bunny. And as I said, I thought that I am going to stitch a bunny and I am going to be a happy person. But no, the bunny mania, how they call it, craziness, the bunny craziness just started. And you'll see in a second why. And this was the beginning because I have just remembered that actually Just Nan released, like not a long time ago, such a bunny, rose heart bunny, which says that this is the last bunny which is released by her. And I thought, this is a bunny and I'm stitching a bunny, and why not ordering the bunny? And I ordered this one. While this one was coming to me, I just remembered that I had in my stash another bunny. So this is the Pansy bunny. Yeah, I have the cube for this one as well. I have a Pansy bunny. Then I became curious because I remembered for sure that Just Nan has at least one more bunny of the strawberry one. I don't know why, but I remembered for sure that she has the strawberry bunny. I started to look for that chart, and I didn't see it being sold, so that I'm going to stitch it from scratch. And apparently, besides the strawberry bunny, there is a honey bunny as well. So there are 4 bunnies like this form, which were released by Just Nan. And I decided that I want to stitch all 4 of them because the designs are not large. They are pretty small. And I said, why not trying stitching them parallelly, or how they say, all of them in the same time. Okay, not in the same time. I mean like stitching one after the other and finishing them all. Yes, such a crazy idea. It came to my mind. And when I started getting the materials, I was pleasantly, I would say, surprised, because apparently I can deal with the materials which are requested for these ones. They are going to come 2 by 2, I would say, because Pansy Bunny, this one is stitched on 32nd count. All of them are stitched on 32nd count, but this one is going to be stitched on 32nd count vintage country mocha linen. It means this kind of linen, this color. You know, it's a pretty popular color. And apparently the honey bunny also is stitched on this one, you see. But I knew that for honey bunny I don't have felt, Wix Dye Works felt for the ears, you know, because here in the embellishment pack, for this one at least, there is felt for ears, there is the tail, there is a, I think it's a Swarovski, I'm not sure, bead which is going to be attached to his, it's not the mouth, it's lower than his mouth, as a jewelry, as a pansy. And there is a ring which is used to attach it. I'm not going to use the ring, but I realized that I don't have enough wool felt for his ears. That's why I looked at the wool felt which is here, and I looked on on the screen in 1 2 3 stitch, because this is where I buy the wool felt from, and like visually I chose this one. I think is a little bit like lighter, but if it's darker, it's darker. I'm not sure. And this is hand-dyed felt, as long as I wool felt, as long as I know. That's why the batches are going to differ, and I think it's not going to be such a great tragedy that this one is a little bit lighter. So the color I chose, this is oak. So for the honey bunny, I'm going to use from the one I bought, because I didn't have material for his ears. Then also for honey bunny and for the strawberry one, which the two other bunnies I'm going to stitch from scratch, I needed tails, because I didn't have enough tails, such pompons. That's why I just looked on eBay, found I measured these pompons, and I saw that the diameter is almost 1 centimeter, and I ordered a packet of multicolored pompons from eBay. I just made sure that they had pink and white. This is what interests me. The rest of them can be used for our design sometime else, and they're not expensive, so this is pretty good. And for this one, I have all of them ask for DMC threads, so no specialty threads, no hand-dyed threads, which is pretty easy. And for this one, I have the embellishment pack already. And for the honey bunny, except the materials I showed to you, I need a bee charm, a tiny bee charm, which I have in my stash. So it happened that I have it in my stash. I'm trying to present it to you. So this would be the tiny bee, which is the charm which has to be attached to the honey bunny. So I dealt with the materials for the honey bunny, and the next one is the two bunnies, which are stitched on light linen. So the rose heart bunny is stitched on white, yes, I think, yes, on white Zweigart Belfast linen, but the strawberry bunny is stitched on this one. This one is, just a sec, I'll tell you, it's 1079. This one is very beautiful. I had it in my stash. But I was thinking, like I couldn't decide myself what to do. To stitch them both, because for sure both are going to be stitched on the same fabric. So two bunnies are going to be stitched on this one, two bunnies are going to be stitched on the light fabric. I was thinking about what fabric to choose. I like this one, but this piece of fabric it's 50 on 70 centimeters. This one is full. I didn't cut anything from it. These designs are pretty small, and I'm just going to spoil the big chunk of fabric just like that, because this, how do I say, variegations, they are not seen very well on small designs. You see, when you have such a small piece of fabric, they are not seen. That's why I decided that nevertheless I'm going to stitch the rose bunny and the strawberry bunny. I'm going to stitch them on white simple Belfast linen 32nd count. Yes, it's going to be like that. So for this one, again, I have the embellishment pack. So here in the embellishment pack, just a sec, I'm going to show you. So in the embellishment pack, there is the felt for the ears. This time is pink. The tail, which is white. Some petite pink beads. And there is, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. There is, where are my scissors? There is a bead, a heart bead, and a little pin. There is the heart bead and the little pin, which used as a decoration for this bunny. For the strawberry bunny, I already said that I would use white fabric. I would use the DMC threads. I already have a tail, but for her ears, there is it's not pink felt, by the way, which saved me from spending more money and buying more felt. I just found in my stash, because little by little I find myself having a stash with wood felt linen. I had, just a second, not showing the snow cream. I had the snow cream linen. It's not deep white, but I decided that it's going to look okay. For such tiny pieces of ears, it's going to be okay. So I'm going to have the ears of the strawberry bunny from this one. And the strawberry bunny, that one has a strawberry in, like this one has a bead. You see, that one has a strawberry bead. I have such a strawberry bead in just one design. This is the mouse with the house, a very rare one. And I have just one bead, and I suppose those beads are not made anymore because I didn't see them being sold. That's why I just looked for some charms with strawberry charms, and I found not one, but I found two, and I like them both. This one is a bit larger, but it's nicer, I think. This one is smaller. You see, this one doesn't have green, but this one has green. Shall I like this, you see? So I'm going to decide which of these two I'm going to use for this strawberry bunny. When it's going to be ready finished, you'll see which one is going to be used. So this would be the materials for the 4 bunnies. Didn't bring here the DMC floss, but I don't think it's necessary, because you know how the DMC floss looks like. And I'm going to start off a factory of stitching bunnies, of bunny stitching. And of course I'll show you which is the result of this one. And here we are, the bunny factory, I would say. So they are stitched, they are ready to be like put together, finished. So this is how they look this side. I ironed the interfacing, and on one side I used the fleece, I think it's called, I'm not sure. I used it in the Victoria samplers box, this one, and I just fixed it with a with a dot of glue here, so that when I would put it together it wouldn't move. In the instructions I haven't seen saying to put something inside. I thought about a piece of cardboard, but then I thought that it's going to be too much, they are too little. But this one gives a little bit of, you know, like shape, I don't know how to call it. And the bunny ears, not all of them are here, because I need to cut still the pink ones for this one, and the tails. I decided that these two on vintage mocha will have white tails, and the ones on white linen will have pink tails. And what else? This one already has the bee. I mean, it has the embellishment. I have to add here the bead it has. I have to add the strawberry to this one, and I have to add the mini pin with the heart bead to this one. So I'm going to finish them, put them together, and I'll tell you, and you'll see how they look like, and I'll tell you some little details about some changes I made, but they are so little that I don't think it matters so much. And the bunnies are here all together, and I'm ready to show them to you. So I put them together, and you will probably laugh, but the part which seemed to me the most difficult in all of this was attaching the ears. Yes, so I cut the felt according to the thing they gave in the chart, so in the instructions, let's say so. And it was said to fold, the base of the ear to fold and attach kind of like this. I was very careful, and they paid extremely great attention at how they are attached here, because I wanted more or less the same effect. They don't have, they are not exactly as there, but I like how they are, and their ears don't look like exactly the same, because, you know, they are in personalities, of course, and they don't have, their ears don't have to be exactly the same. So this is the Rose Heart Bunny, the latest release. This is how it looks like, I mean, like the stitching. The beads are attached here. It's cross stitch. This one doesn't have back stitch, but it has kind of specialty stitches with satin stitch. You are making a heart, so it has 1, 2, 3 hearts. Both sides are exactly the same, you see. And when I stitched, so I stitched so this part like this, and when I like turned the I mean, like the project, I stitched this one like facing this one, because if you are going to look on the chart, you are supposed to stitch, for example, the one which comes like down like this. It's like this. So this one has to be like this, and this one has to be upside down, kind of. But I turned the hoops when I was stitching, and I was like stitching so that the stitches would look the same from both sides, something like that. And this one has eyelashes, beautiful eyes, and according to the embellishment pack, the tail of this one was supposed to be white, but I chose a pink pom-pom in the color of the ears, and I made the tail pink, because the other one, the strawberry one, also has the ears pink. The whiskers, I took just the thread which I used here to put the biscorny stitch together, to put it like here, and I just a whole thing with 6 threads. I just pulled through here, cut it, and kind of, this is the way I'm doing with the mice as well. And the good thing about this one is that if they turn, I don't know, if you don't like them, you're just pulling them out and you can put some new ones. And the pin, you see, it has the pin here. With the eyelashes, the color, and the pin, I'm supposed to think that this one is a girl. One thing which I didn't like do according to the instructions when I put it together, I was finishing it, is the attaching of the ears. There is said that first you are supposed to do the biscorny stitch here, and when you finish, you just attach the tail. It was absolutely easy to attach the tail, so nothing complicated, and then you attach the ears. I thought, before like starting doing this, I thought that probably, for me personally, it's going to be difficult to attach the ears when this one is going to be like this. That's why I folded and like looked at how it looked and imagined myself that I am attaching the ears, and I understood that it's going to be difficult for me, at least for me. That's why in my case, when they were like not put together here, they were like unfolded, as I used to say, in their flying position, I attached the ears first. Because when I made the biscorny stitch like this here, the ears didn't bother me. At least for me, it was okay. I was very accurate like this and careful like this, like this, like this. And the ears were not damaged while being stitched, I mean, attached these parts. And here, if you wanna, so you can put it on a spool as they, or you can put a thread. It's just a thread here, and you can hang it. Mine are going to hang on my white tree. I didn't use a thread. I used the DMC diamond. I have like a couple of spools. I'm not using it when I need the metallic thread. I'm not very pleased of how they are working when you are using them for stitching. That's why here it's silver. So I made the, and it's very easy. I just attached this one here so it can be changed anytime with something else. And as this one was stitched according to the chart and the embellishment pack. I can show you what I have from the embellishment pack. I tried to cut the ears so that I would see if it's possible to cut 4 ears out of this piece of wool, and no, the one which is here, it's enough for 1 ear, but not for 2 for sure. The tail is not used, as I used the pink one, and the leftovers of the beads. Also the bright white one is the strawberry. So the wool is the one I use from my stash. You see, this one has pink tail, and according to what is said in the instructions, it says that it needs a pink tail, you see. Didn't say you when I showed the materials that this one and this one, the honey bunny, they need beads. They need petite beads. I used the 4779, if I'm not wrong. So the beads I usually use in a lot of Just Nan designs. And the beads here, they make the flower, the strawberry flower. I think this one is super duper cute. Super duper. This is how my son says about usually about something. And the strawberry itself, look, has these things, how they are called. Lovely, absolutely lovely. And this one also has eyelashes. By the way, the eyes of this one were stitched with dark gray, so according to the key, they are not black. And this side is absolutely the same. And the charm which I chose is this one, the strawberry charm. I am very, very happy about this one, taking into account that this one is made from scratch. I think it's great. Then it was honey bunny. I think this one was the first one which entered the net of bunnies, because if I'm not wrong, this one was released in 2013. So here is the bee charm, also has some beads. This one was stitched also easy, by the way. This one and the strawberry one, they were the easiest one to be stitched. Like, they don't have so many colors, they don't have so many cross stitches. The eyes of this one were different, because that's why I say that this one probably was the first one. I stitched the eyes because this was the first one I stitched. I stitched the eyes as it was in the chart, but when I did the rest of them, I realized that they have nice eyes, and I did the eyes of this one as for that one. You see, it was a good thing that I haven't finished. I just stitched all of them, and and this one doesn't have eyelashes. So the charm, the bee charm, it's just this side. This side doesn't have a bee charm. And here I also used the MC diamond, but I used here the golden one because they are the color. Their color is different. Okay, and the last one, which also was stitched according to the chart. This is Pansy Bunny. This was the one who took the most of the time while being stitched. Oh, his whiskers being... because it's a lot here. Honestly, it's a lot. Okay, yes, I agree, it's a small design, but if you compare it with the rest of them, so here it was very little. Like, very little in common. And the colors, this one had even more colors, but it's nice. Okay, so the funny thing is that for this one I haven't used anything from the original embellishment pack which it had, because the ears I didn't use the wool, because I cut the ears of both of these ones from the wool I bought. I wanted them to be the same color so that they wouldn't differ. The tail, for this one I didn't have a tail. That's why I used from the ones I bought. So I used for this one already the same. The tails, they are the same format. You see the same form. That's why I used for all of them. I used the tails from what I have bought. And the bead, which you would say, why? And it has this golden ring. But I was sure from the very beginning that I'm not going to use it. I'm going to use like a simple, not very thick thread here, like for attaching. And the bead, the bead, it seems to me too big. You know, when I wanted to attach this one, because if you look at the chart, it has to be like this, you see? And when I wanted to attach here, it looked for me very big, kind of huge. I didn't like it. I don't know why. It's just a personal thing. And I attached here a bead, a Swarovski bead, Amethyst AB, which is round and it's smaller. But I'm not even sure that this one is going to be the final variant because you probably know that this bunny can be a top of a cube if you want, so it doesn't come alone. You know, there are some designs where you can buy a second one and you would have a pair. And the pair for this one is this Fancy Rose cube, you see? I thought that if I stitch the bunny, why leave the cube? And gladly, I'm presenting you my next Just Nan project. It's going to be the cube. The cube, as far as I saw, because I looked through the chart, is not going to be a complicated one. So here are the, because I already prepared, here are the threads. So a plate full of threads and very beautiful threads, by the way. The linen, it says in the key, 30-second count, Zweigart lilac Belfast linen. I have lilac Belfast linen. I have 2 shades of lilac, by the way, from Zweigart, but the other one is darker, and I looked very carefully, kind of visually, because I don't know, they don't give the code of the color, and I think it's this lilac, it's not the one which is darker. And it also has such an embellishment pack, so it's 3 types of beads. It's 2mm pearl, cream pearls, petite beads, and kind of rainbow beads, which come like 3 each side. So I said, why not? Because after I'm going to finish the cube, I'm going to decide if this one is going to be a bunny which is going to hang on the tree, or is going to be a bunny which is going to be at the top of the cube. To make it the top of the cube, I suppose that I have to find a really long needle. And I thought that if I'm going to use a really long needle, why not using this bead, as in the case of this one, and make a pin. But in this case, the pin is going to be really long. You see, make a pin and have like this bead on top, but this one is going to be so long that it's the part which is going to be here is going to be thrust into the cube. So far this one, it will stay like this. When the cube is going to be ready, I'm going to see where it's going to stay. So yeah, stitching the cube, but I don't promise that it's going to be ready in this video. Most probably it's going to be in one of my next videos. And this is how my spring shelf looks like, but it won't change a lot when summer comes, because only some Easter things, Easter items are going to go out of this equation. So what do I have here? I have the white tree from Hobbycraft, the one I bought, and which has more and more decorations, and I'm happy about that. So I have the Mill Hill chicks, the 6 of them. So the yellow is here, then it's this one, the pink, pretty difficult to film, and there is another one there somewhere. Then I have the butterflies, also by Just Nan at Mill Hill, 4 of them. They don't have anything to hang, and I just put them here to stay, to lay, but it's not okay. I'm thinking also taking some cranik and making like so that they would hang like this bunnies. Then I have from Just Nan this design, which I made into a pin clip, and it's there. Then I have some porcelain eggs from Tiki Max. They were free in the set, so these ones are Easter decorations, and when Easter finishes I am taking them out, this free. What else? Then I have the pink cushion, which you know already, this one. The bunny, which was added today. This one, it's a mouse. I have a bunny as well, but this one is a mouse, which I like very much. These things from TK Maxx. I'm trying desperately not to buy them, but I cannot stop myself. So this is a mouse. Then I have from Mill Hill Love Heart. I have also from TK Maxx such a decoration, a bunny, but this one also is going to be taken out after Easter. And what else? Also from Mill Hill, Easter, it's going to be taken out. The bunnies from Just Nan probably are going to stay here. I'm not going to take them out. And this one, fresh one. This is from Mill Hill, and this is William Morris, which was bought from the William Morris house. Still, this one is here, but as long as I'll go, but in time, if I'm going to have more decoration like mine, I'm going to take it out. And underneath the tree, there is such a doll, the one in pink. Here she is. Then there, somewhere, it's Easter bag from Shepherd's Bush. Then the house from Just Nan and sheep. It's a wax sheep. Then this one is from Just Nan, connecting with gardening, one of the trays. Then I have this one from Mill Hill, Easter egg hunt, which is also connected with Easter, and it's going to go away. Such a bunny, and I put a biscorner here, which is kind of a pink cushion. Then this one, then Lizzie, Kate, Clara, and Harry, the bunnies, and the most of the little things, like Just Nan things, they are in this house. You see, so everything of these things you saw in my videos. So more or less, this is how they are, like here. You see. And I have a bunny here, kind of Tilda bunny. So these are almost all of the things I have. Not all of them, but almost all of them. So you see, you don't need a lot of space to deposit such beauties. And after so many tiny projects, finally, I have something larger. And this is a finished project. This is Summer Countryside by Bucilla, which I last showed you that it was half stitched, and now it's totally stitched. Yeah, as I said, the difficult part it was this one, the first half, which I showed you previously, and this one was much easier and quicker to stitch. That's why this one is ready. Let me show to you how it looks. I think it's really beautiful. Why I'm whispering? I think it's really beautiful, this one. I'm really happy about finishing it. So what I changed in this design, actually, because this one was a kit. It's an old kit, by the way. I don't know if I told you, this is 1990. I don't know, the kit is from this year, or I think the kit is not when Bucilla was invented. I mean, when it started its activity. So it's 34 years. Yes. So inside there was white 14th count Aida. Not a large one, because when first I saw it, I thought that maybe they put, they used it scarcely. But after stitching it, I just saw that the design itself, it's not large, you see, so yeah. So I didn't use the white Aida from the kit. I used the linen, Zweigart white, antique white, 28th count linen, so I didn't change the count. Supposedly it has to be like the same size as they recommended. I haven't measured it. I even don't care, honestly, because sometimes I noticed that the stitchers used to say that, look, they are saying that it's going to be like this, but it's like, I don't know, a quarter inch shorter, longer. As long as I haven't bought a frame for it to finish it, and as long as this one is not framed yet, I don't have plans, for me it doesn't matter, honestly it doesn't matter. And the threads, I used the threads which were in the kit. These were the leftovers. This color 6174, these are Bucilla threads. It was enough to stitch, but it was like the leftover was for one cross stitches, or one or two cross stitches. So yeah, I would say that I don't have anything. And this green, which is very important color, it was used widely. This one I just left for one, so to charge one needle. And I wasn't sure that this one, I thought that this one is not going to be enough. That's why I looked in the DMC threads, and I found for this one something which would be close enough. And I even prepared that green, but this one, thanks God, it was enough. And I didn't frog anything. I was very careful. I stitched it very carefully so that I wouldn't frog anything, because I knew that the threads are Bucilla and I don't have extra. I don't have a stash, and I have to be careful, you see. I don't know why, I've had the feeling or the impression that in old kits they used to put a lot of threads, but no, it seems that not, it's not like that. And as you noticed, I have on the background this beautiful dimensions design, and for me they are somehow related, because they both have so many colors. They have the roses, they have the cottage, the English cottage, typical. So for me it's the same. I have a similar design from Bucilla, similar meaning like the same. It has leaves here, autumn leaves, because it's an autumn design. But I don't think they are like in a series, because if it was a series, they would have had the other two seasons. But here is just summer and autumn. At least I don't know about the others. I'm not sure if I'm going to stitch autumn this autumn. I hope I'll have the time and the inspiration. I don't have plans. I don't have a schedule in my cross stitch, by the way. I do everything as I feel at the moment. That's why I have, how they say, I have a large enough stash to like do this, to look for something which I want to stitch at that time, because sometimes I just need to buy, I don't know, some extra floss, some extra fabric, and I have the design ready to stitch. That's why in my case, if you're going to ask me what you are going to stitch in a month, I cannot tell you exactly. And probably you noticed that the designs which are larger, they are not large, they are larger. I still tend not to have many of them in the same time, and I try to finish them. I don't know why. I don't feel comfortable when I have many whips in the same time. So I don't judge anybody. We are all different, you know, and we all stitch as we feel okay, and as we feel that it's comfortable for us. But for me, if you noticed, I don't have many projects which are being worked on in the same time. I just don't feel comfortable, because I have 3 designs which are not stitched at all now, and I would like to have them stitched, and I am even thinking about making a how they say, an effort and taking at least one of them and stitch. I have the Sanssouci Castle and Gardens from Chatelaine, which is beautiful, but I'm not stitching it, and I know why I am not stitching it. That one is a huge design. I don't like stitching on big frames. Like, I don't like I like the design very much, but because it's so big and it asks for a large frame, I don't feel comfortable, and like with the organization. So the organization is the problem. But probably I'll have to go over this because the design, as I said, is really beautiful, and I'll have to organize myself better and still stitch it. And that's it. That's everything I wanted to show you in today's video. I hope it was interesting for you. I hope you liked it, and see you in my next videos. Until then, bye bye.